Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I have just had a nightmare, mate. Chargers broke, everything's broke, and yeah, trying to do a stream and everything's just going wrong. But I'm here, and I'm here to talk about the transfer window. And let's start off with Jesse Lingard. Says no to West Ham United. And for me, I done a video on Saturday late evening. And I turned around and said, if Jesse Lingard comes here, I won't be impressed, especially if we sell Saeed Benrahma. But it emerged that evening that he says no to West Ham yet again. For me, it's the end now. It's the end. We stopped this. We stopped saying about Jesse Lingard. We stopped saying about we want this Jesse Lingard at the club. He doesn't want to come to us. He used us as much as we used him. And that is the end of that, really. So Jesse Lingard is no more at West Ham, and I'll be quite shocked if he arrives at West Ham in the summer. Moving on to Bissouma, the Brighton man, the man who I really, really like, who I've always said I think Bissouma would suit West Ham. And Moyes does not want Bissouma. He says no to Bissouma. Not for him. He's going for James Ward-Prowse. Now, I'm going to be honest. 25 million, I think we got. It was touted 25, 30 million for Bissouma. I think Bissouma's a very, very good player, and I don't understand why he won't go for him. But then he wants to go for Ward-Prowse, who we all know is going to cost like 50 million up. Like Southampton ain't going to let him go like cheap. So I can't work that one out. The only thing I will say is Bissouma was very, very poor against us when we played them in the last game of the season. He was literally come off at half time, I think it was, and he was dreadful, really. He has got that case over his head, and I don't think Moyes wants drama. So Bissouma is a non-starter at West Ham. He really, really is. And shame, really. Can I see James Ward-Prowse coming to West Ham? I really can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will get to your comments shortly. James Ward-Prowse ain't coming to West Ham. No, not a chance. It's all talk and spill. We can't even get a simple deal over the line. So what chance do people think we're going to get of James Ward-Prowse coming to West Ham? I can't see it. So Bissouma is a non-starter, and Moyes don't want him. Moving on, though, to a man that I do like, and I've always said this on this channel, is Ismail Sarr from Watford, ex-Rennes player. Senegalese international. Like this kid. Like him a lot. I think he's better than Dennis. People say Dennis is better. I think Sarr is a very, very good player. He's been linked with West Ham. Left-sided, I believe. He's a winger. He's fast. He carries the ball well. I think he's a decent player. Do you know what I mean? And people say about Dennis. Dennis was good, but I think Ismail Sarr could go up another level. Do you know what I'm saying? He was touted to go to other top teams about 18 months ago, and he ends up at Watford. I think he needs to get his confidence back, and I think if you get his confidence back in Sarr, then you've got a top quality player at the helm there. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, I would sign Sarr. I would. I think he's the sort of player we need. We need a ball carrier. We need someone who's going to take the ball from deep, move it up the pitch, and away we go. We haven't got that. We've got Jared Bowen, and other than that, who else we really got? No one really who can carry the ball and take it like up the pitch. Antonio can, but you want him as a centre forward, so you can't really use Antonio. So Ismail Sarr for me is the man. If we can get him in a good deal, if you had a choice between him or Cornet, I'd have Sarr. I think Sarr is a very talented footballer. I can't praise that kid up enough. So yeah, I'd like to see Sarr at West Ham. So let's get to your comments and see what you're saying on this Monday afternoon. People are saying I'm late. I do apologise. Charger problems and all that. Yeah. Hi, James, mate. I start a new job tomorrow, so I'm sorting stuff out. Best wishes from Bangkok, as always. Have a great show. Come on, you irons. Good luck on your new job, Darren. Hope it goes well, sir. Georgie boy, afternoon, mate. Hope you're well. I'm good, man. I'm good. I like Bissouma so much. He puts in a shocker against us and gets taken off at half time. Yeah, listen, that's the only thing I can say. But I like Bissouma also, mate. But Moyes don't. He's just not having none of it. he's not having none of it with Bissouma. He's like, no, not for me. Now, there's other players that I like. Lewis O'Brien is another player that seems to get a lot of mention at Huddersfield. He's from Colchester, I believe. Very good player, I must admit. But he plays a bit like Fornells. Like he's good. He gets about the play. He's got lots of energy, but I don't know. Like, can you take the step up? Can you really take Lewis O'Brien out of Huddersfield, put him in West Ham, and say you're going to be first choice? I don't think he is. Do you know what I mean? But I think Bissouma would be. If that makes sense. So interesting one, that one. Hi, Jones, mate. Hope you're well. Thoughts on Sarr? I take him, to be honest. Listen, I would, mate. Sarr is, you know what I mean? Sarr and Dennis, if West Ham can get a good deal for the pair of them, then you've got two good players there. Do you know what I mean? I think Sarr's the better player, though. I've always said that. Sarr's been linked with big clubs and Dennis really hasn't. Do you know what I mean? Dennis done well at Watford, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's the end the goal, so to speak. I like Sarr, though. I think Sarr can, like everything I've said previously, I think he can be a really top player in a top team. I think when you're in the Watford's team, you look crap. Do you know what I mean? But you're not really crap. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'd have Sarr, mate. 100%. I agree. Sarr has the pace and can see him chasing over the top balls would suit us. Totally agree, mate. That is the sort of play I want to see West Ham do next season. Balls over the top and through the middle. I think when West Ham play through the middle, we're quite deadly. This sort of out wide trying to cross balls into who? Like we're pretty one-dimensional when it comes to that sort of attack, because all we're doing is aiming for Souček or Antonio. Now Antonio don't score many headed goals, and Souček's had a shocker this year. So yeah, you know what I mean. Ismail Sarr lives off one game. Oh, I don't know. Don't know about that, mate. I think he's quite decent in a good team, though, Jezza. St. Maximin, Sarr, Richarlison, Coutinho, Harvey Barnes, Sarr. The difference is between all them players you mentioned, Jezza, and I do respect you, brother, is realistically we can get Sarr. We can't get any of them others. Do you know what I mean? We ain't getting Richarlison out of Everton because we ain't going to pay the money. St. Maximin, I think he's a good player, but you think he gets injured too much. Sarr's got an attitude problem. Coutinho's just signed for Villa, and Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes is an interesting one because I would have him. I think you could get him, but you got to pay the money, and West Ham just don't pay the money. Well, we got here. Jordan says, "I like Sarr, but I'm hoping Moyes isn't planning on using him as a striker if it's true." So I totally agree, mate. But the one thing I do fear this year is West Ham are going to go after a load of wingers. West Ham ain't going to sign a striker. They're going to go after winger after winger after winger. And if Antonio doesn't work, they're going to go Bowen up front. Do you know what I mean? Like they did last year. Moyes he's playing a dangerous game here because if you don't get this window right, and he's had X amount of time, he's had a good year to go out and look for players. If he still can't find a striker, then there is something drastically wrong. There really is. What we've got here. I enjoyed tuning into your Twitter spaces. We'll have to continue to do them. Yeah, I do enjoy doing them, man. Listen, it's all for the love, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I will continue doing them. Me and Ben will continue. My kind sir, I hope we have. My kind sir, I hope we have stayed clear. Well, you know, your views are spot on. Cheers, man. What is it? It's entirely possible that we'll sign no one. I think a guard is coming. I'm literally pretty certain on that. I'm about 95% certain. The only thing that can go wrong is GSB. I've always said that. But I think a guard comes, and I've already got the video lined up for when he does arrive. Like I am going to be absolutely buzzing to see that man in a West Ham shirt. I've seen enough of him there to go, you know what, this geezer's top talent. And I think if we get him at the price we get him, then it's a great bit of business. It really is. The only fear I do have is Moyes is very good at getting defensive players. Like he's brought in Zuma, he's got in Areola. He's going to get in a guard. I think a guard's going to be done. The only fear I do have is attack-wise, he is clueless. Moyes just does not know what he wants in attack. And like, are we going after relegated, threatened, or relegated teams' players? No, this is where it's coming to. West Ham need to make a statement signing. There has to be someone who's going to come in and who's going to have names on the backs of shirts. And I just don't see it. I don't see like Dennis doing that. Even Sarr, for instance. I would love to have Sarr at West Ham. I think he'd be a great player for us in the right system. But he's not like the marquee signing. And West Ham should have a marquee signing at the club. Do you know what I mean? If you're trying to convince Declan Rice and Jared Bowen to stay at the club for another year, there's no certainties that Declan's going to be staying here for a year. Like, if Chelsea get their act together, Chelsea could go and bid for Declan. Do you know what I mean? Which is a fear. West Ham need to start acting like a big club and signing top players. Like Ivan Toney got mentioned for £40 million to Newcastle. And I think we need a centre forward who's like Antonio. He is ideal. And why don't you just go and pay the money? And the problem is, it ain't so much paying the money, it's they won't pay the money or they haven't got the money to pay. Do you know what I'm saying? So I agree with you, Epic. I really do, man. What we got here, let's have a look. I'm not saying West Ham should get these players. I'm saying that Sarr is a level below all the players in the same position, playing for the teams in and around us. Listen, I agree with that, Jazza. I really do, yeah. But I think Sarr is a sort of player that can get better. Like, I do agree with you, though. We need to be going for high-end type players. Like, you look at Villa, they've just signed Coutinho. And people can say, oh, Coutinho's past it, but he's still a decent player. They've signed in Kamara from Marseille, who's an excellent player. Right? How they've got him from Marseille, I don't know. But he's a great player. So I do agree with what you're saying there, Jezza. I do. Do you know what I mean? West Ham United, to be or not to be? That is the question. Mate, Hypeless. I wish I would know the answer to that, bruv, because I want to see some signings. It's like we don't even know what we're getting. Do you know what I mean? And that is the one thing with the fan base that I think a lot of frustration is. Now, I speak for myself only. My frustration is with West Ham is, why does it take so long to scout a player, talk to a player, get the deal done, and get it signed, sealed, and delivered? It takes forever. Like, it's a guard deal. It took me 3 weeks. And let's all go back a year ago to the Milenkovic deal. Milenkovic was in, out. Oh, he's going to sign. He's at the hotel, and then it all goes belly up. Now, for me, like, just West Ham need to act like it. But I just think with the owners that we've got, we just can't. And I think the owners have burnt many bridges. That's one thing I will say. I think the owners have burnt so many bridges. They're on an island, really, and they're running out of time. So, yeah. Can a guard play up front? Do you know what, George, yeah? I'm going to be honest. He is very, very good in the air, this geezer, mate. Trust me. Like, I've seen a couple of headed goals he scored, right? He's rapidly fast. What it could lead, if a guard comes here, you could see El Nesri come with him. Now, that's a little punt out of the blue, but it could happen. He's Moroccan. El Nesri's Moroccan. El Nesri is a sort of player West Ham would look at. Yeah, we watched him against Seville when they played us in the Europa League. He weren't really all that, in my opinion. But you can't judge a man on one game. You've got to judge him over like what he does in La Liga, I think it is. And I think he's been all right. He's been all right. We've been like looking at El Nesri for ages. Now, could that be a move? But a guard is a very, very good centre half, and I really can't wait to see him at the left side. Next season could be an absolute disaster for us. All the teams around us are signing quality players. I agree, Epic, mate. And listen, it ain't. I know the window's only been open 3 days, but the problem is with West Ham that I get, and this is why I do this channel, and I try and express myself as real as I can be, and not say everything's wonderful when everything is not. Is why are we hesitating? Like, when you've released Mark Noble, and we see Mark Noble playing in that charity game last night, West Ham should have a replacement really lined up for Mark Noble. They've known Mark Noble was leaving last year, so why is there not a already made replacement coming in to take Mark Noble's place? The answer to that is because they've got lack of organisation at West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? Is Conor Coventry going to be that man to come in and replace Mark Noble next season? I don't know. I think when you look at it, Ashby's going to play a lot next season. I think Conor will come in to the team. I just don't think West Ham are going to go out and buy two central midfield players. I really don't. So for me, when I look at like Noble playing yesterday, and West Ham still haven't signed no one, and we are literally every day hoping to sign a guard. You know what I mean? It ain't done till it's done, but I'm pretty sure it's 95% done. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a waiting game with West Ham, and other teams are out there looking and signing players, and West Ham ain't. So I do agree with you there, mate. I really do. Let's get to your other comments here. Where are we, man? What is it? Rank the following players from the most likely to leave this summer: Mazawaku, Ben Rama, Diop, Lasage. Oh, good question, Jazza. I think Diop is at the door. I think he's going. I think as soon as a guard is in, signed, sealed, delivered, I think Diop will be sold to a French side, and it will balance the books that way. Right, 100% on that. Mazawaku, how he's still here, I don't know, but he is. He should be the next one out the door. I think he's been awful. And then you got Ben Rama of Lasage. Now, listen, I'm going to back Benny. Right? No, people don't like it that I back Benny, but I will back Benny up because Lasage has been an absolute flop. Let's be honest. He signed last summer, like around this time last summer, and he's done nothing this season. And he's had games. He's had easier games than what Ben Rama did when he first started at West Ham. Like Ben Rama was in Premier League games. Lasage has played Europa League, League Cup, FA Cup against Leeds reserve team. Hasn't done anything. So for me, Lasage, I think he should go at all. If I'm being honest. Well, at least we know we're not playing City first game of the season. Phew. Well, you know, if the story is true regarding Ben Rama up for sale because of getting Lingard in, now Lingard said no. What does that mean for Benny, and how must he feel now? I agree, Mickey. I really do, mate. The problem is Moyes is playing this game of like he's put all his eggs in one basket for Jesse Lingard, and he thinks like Jesse Lingard's a well beater. The reason why Ben Rama must feel the way he feels is because he hasn't been treated with any ounce of respect by Moyes. Really, he's played games this year. He's played pretty decent in games. Yeah, some games he's played shocking in, and I've grilled him on this channel. And I'm not a flip flop to say, oh, you know what, I'm going to back him when he plays bad, because that's just being two-faced. That's one thing I'm not. With me, I look at Ben Rama and I think Benny has done okay in spells of games this season. Right, the season's just gone. And I look at Jesse Lingard, and Jesse Lingard just doesn't fancy West Ham. He's had numerous opportunities to come to West Ham. He's blown us out, and he's finally blown us out again. Now, if Moyes goes after him again, that is just like he's like a man possessed. Do you know what I mean? It's like an ex-bird that you just like want to get rid of, and she just won't have none of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think Ben Rama, in one way, before I move on, I think if Ben Rama does go, good luck to him. That's what my attitude is, because he hasn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, and he hasn't really been treated right by the manager of this club. How much money are we actually paying for a guard? I've seen everything between 15 and 30 million. I think it goes up to about 30 million, but I believe it's about 18 million without add-ons and bonuses and things like that, mate. He's worth every penny to me, though. From what I've seen, he's worth absolute every penny. He looks very, very good on that left-hand side, and he's rapidly fast and all. So, yeah. Moyes is saying no to Bissouma, pissing me right off. But he's going after James Ward-Prowse. Now, this is where it makes no sense to me with West Ham. This is the one thing. Well, it does make sense to me with West Ham because, let's be honest, right? They're going to say we're going to go after this big name, and it doesn't happen. Like, we've had it last year with Milenkovic. We've had it with Carlos Bacca, El Nesri, to name a few. Lopez, I think it was, Maxi Lopez, or Gomez, sorry. We've done quite a lot, of talking, but nothing seems to happen. Bissouma is a very, very good player, and Ward-Prowse for me is, I just don't think he's West Ham type of player, mate. I really don't. Yeah, he's good at free kicks and set pieces, but as a defensive-minded player, we need someone who's a proper defensive midfielder, so we can allow Rice to go forward, right? So really, we need someone like who's just below Rice, or if not, same as good as Rice as a DM, and then we're laughing. And for me, Ward-Prowse isn't that. Bissouma is. Bissouma 100% is. Bissouma will run around, get stuck in, and he's excellent. But David Moyes for you, mate. West Ham get their players across 5 homes. I agree, mate. Newman is summer holiday. How disgraceful. Well, Rob Newman, mate. You said David Newman. I don't know who he is, but Rob Newman is. I don't know what he's up to, mate. Do you know what? I actually feel sorry for Rob Newman to a point, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because I do think Rob Newman's no mug. Like, you don't go and work for City for all them years if you're rubbish. And I do believe he has picked a list of targets that the board can't match. Do you know what I mean? Someone coming in and saying, right, I've seen A, B, C, D player, and the board saying, well, we've only got 10 million to spend. Do you know what I mean? It just ain't going to happen. So I think Rob Newman's found a gem in this regard, because I'm surprised no one else has gone for him. And listen, I'm very happy if it gets done. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, let's be honest, as West Ham fans, we all know that these deals take forever and it's never done till it's done. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty damn sure that it's going to get done, Agard. And I think it's a great signing. I really do. That's it. Lee. Hi, James. I've enjoyed your shows. Thank you very much, Lee. Hope you are well, mate. I say Newman has done his work all season, got them his targets, scouted, etc. Now it's down to the ball to deliver them players. George, 100,000% agree with you, brother. I 100% agree on that. And I am in that camp. Power to the people, mate. 100%, yeah. This ownership of this club, and people keep backing this club up, saying, oh, you can't say nothing about them because we're in a good moment. Well, we would be in a better moment if we spent some money. And we are only, people are going to say, well, we're buying a guard. Granted. But we're also getting rid of Diop. So let's weigh it up. Get rid of one, sign someone else. Yeah, it's good business. But where's the investment? Where's the 5-6 players that we need to boost this squad up? And I totally agree with that comment from George. I really do. Let's get down here. West Ham over the last 2 years, everything changes, yet everything still stays the same. Yeah. Do you know what, Phil? I actually agree on that, man. Right. Over the last 2 years, we've been very, very good. Extremely good, yeah. Was great in COVID, and we was great the season just gone. The fear I do have is how we can't sign players in our best moment. And I don't mean just one. I mean 4 or 5 players, because that's what we need. We all know it, right? And we're in our best moment. This is West Ham at their peak, really. Can West Ham get any better? I don't think they can unless they invest large amounts of money into this squad. But with the squad that we've got now, we're flying like a kite. And for me, when I look at that, I think, well, if you're an owner of a club, you want the club to progress even further than that. You're thinking, right, Man United are poor, Arsenal are inconsistent. Other teams around us, Leicester, are falling away a little bit. Everton have gone down the pan a bit. This is West Ham's moment now to sort of stake a claim and own it, basically. And for me, when I look at that, I just don't see no investment. And let's be honest, we haven't signed a player since the last summer window. That, to me, sends alarm bells ringing in my ears big time, saying, well, why not? So, listen, I don't know whether that's a tongue-in-cheek joke, but I 100% agree on this, man. Right? For how well West Ham have been, nothing seems to change at West Ham. It's always the same stuff over and over again. It really is. Mike Smith. Potter for me over Sarr every day of the week, James, and not being linked enough with Conor Gallagher, in my opinion. Better than Bissouma and cheaper than. Listen, I agree, Mike. 100% agree on that. Potter, Keane Lewis Potter for me, I'd drive him. I'd get a chauffeur-driven car and go and get him out of the hole. I cannot praise him up enough, that kid. I do like that kid a lot. I've done many videos on that lad on this channel. I know quite a bit about him, obviously, because I had connections with Hull. But when I look at him, it's money. It all boils down to the pound note, and West Ham just seem like they just are penny pinching at the slightest detail. Like £30 million for Keane Lewis Potter. Is it a lot of money in today's market? Not really. Not when we signed Jared Bowen for 25 or 24 million 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Is Keane Lewis Potter worth it? Definitely. I think and he's got a sell-on value. Do you know what I'm saying? And West Ham need a big squad, and we act like a small team. Do you know what I mean? So it is frustrating. It really is. Conor Gallagher, good shout, but it's Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea, are they reluctant to sell to us? Are they going to look at trying to throw Conor Gallagher and some cash for Declan? That is another thing that's been sort of spoke about before. Could happen. It could happen. I do like Conor Gallagher, but is he a DM though? He's more of an attacking midfielder than he is a defensive midfielder. I think if you're allowing Declan to go forward, you need a solid DM in there. I think Bissouma for me would be better. Do you know what I'm saying? What else we got here? Let's have a look. Skip, but we go back up to the top. Let's have a look. Where are we? We got. Will you be watching Ben Johnson playing with Keane Lewis Potter down England's left wing tonight? Oh, that'd be interesting, Jez. I might have to invest in looking at that. Listen, KLP, mate, is quality, mate. Trust me, I can't praise him enough. I really can't. I hope Ben Johnson gets into the England team in a couple of years. It's criminal that we didn't have Noble's replacement already lined up when we've known that he's been leaving all season. Should have been one out, one in. Listen, mate, and listen, I don't like to be negative on this channel. Yeah, people say, "Oh, you're negative, James. You're negative." I'm going to be fucking real. I'm being as real as I can be. And the question that needs to be asked is, where is Mark Noble's replacement? Mark Noble's replacement is Connor Coventry for me, and I would have money on it. Connor will come into the team, and he will be Mark Noble's replacement, 100%. Because where is it? The window's been open for a few days, and people say, "Oh, well, why are you panicking for? The window's only been open since Friday." Yeah. So you're telling me teams have not been speaking about signings for the last few weeks? I'll wait till he gets off holiday and all that. Do you know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, what is it, 6 weeks, I think it is, or 5 weeks before this new season starts? Beginning of August. We're coming up to the middle of June now. So 6 weeks' time, the season starts. And we've got to do a pre-season and all that. So, listen, what more else can I say on that? I'm willing to give Lashley until January. I think we've got no choice, mate. Phil, to be honest, I don't think we've got a lot of choice. I think we're going to have to put up with him until January. Do I think he's going to come good? Not for me. Not for me. I watched a little bit of him in the Euros last year. I thought, you know what, he looks quite decent. Few games in, other people were saying it on different channels, and I was like, yeah. And then what it was, you get the people who are going, "Oh, you're knocking our players before they've even started." Well, you've just seen a year of him, mate, and what are you saying now? And they don't say nothing now. They say, "Oh yeah, he hasn't come. He's been poor." But I could have told you that after the first 3 months. Like someone who comes in who's quality, like Kurt Zouma. Kurt Zouma come in and was quality for West Ham. Right from the moment he signed for West Ham, he's had one bad game for me, and that was Tottenham away, where he just got handed in abuse and everything because of Catgate. But he hasn't really had a bad game, Kurt Zouma, in my opinion. And that's the sort of player that West Ham need, like that high-end quality. Do you know what I'm saying? So I agree. Lashley needs to start all our Europa Conference games. I agree. Moy said in the interview that he's been looking at players for the past 6 months, yet we're still no closer to signing anyone. Moyes, don't make me laugh, Irons. Don't make me laugh, bro. Honestly, me doing these transfer talks, mate, irritate me. They really do. Premier League that Manchester City versus Bournemouth will be the first game of the season. Oh, I can't believe that, mate. It's what happens. I think the lack of January signing shows we will be signing players this summer. The Bold and Moyes know they can't get away with no signings this window. I think they sign players, George. Don't get me wrong. I do believe West Ham sign players, but are we going to sign enough? That's the $1 million question. Are we going to try and get round it in other ways? Do you know what I mean? West Ham needs about 7 players, in my opinion. Goalkeeper, a left back, 2 central midfielders, a striker, a left winger, and a centre half. And West Ham have got the centre half coming, so 6. Do you know what I mean? And that's off the top of my head. Do you know what I mean? And that's that's just to get the squad where it was last year, really, or even just a little bit better than last year. So I don't know, man. I don't know. A guard looks calm, composed, and stays away from the puff. He certainly does, mate. He certainly does. He's the master puffer. I like him, a guard, as I keep saying, and I can't wait for West Ham fans to see him in the shirt. If once he's finally done, I think he's such a calming influence at the back there, man. I watched a game of him recently and loved everything like what he done. Like he's one-on-one defending, he's absolutely solid. Like he doesn't let no one get past him. He's very good in the air, rapid, top draw, absolute top draw player. And I think if we do sign him, it's an absolute steal. The only negative I've got on the man that I did notice is when players are lining up shots from outside the box, he's very late to react. Like he doesn't get out fast enough. That's the only negative I have. Rest of it, top draw. It is. Benny's a very honourable. He's signing on fee to the Brentford staff. Fair enough, man. Good play. Is Mazuaku any better than Longelo right now? Forget the age. Do you know what? Great shout. I think Longelo's another one who's been mentioned about at the door. He's going to Rangers, I think, or Ibs or something like that up north. Mazuaku's been here for 7 years, man. And how is he still here? Like, do you know what I mean? And I don't know how he's still got a contract at West Ham. He must be like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he must be cleaning the changing room with Mark Noble every week or something to stay here. Don't understand it. And to me, when I look at Maz, yeah, you've been here a long time, bruv. Yeah, you've done a few good things, a lot of bad things, but you shouldn't be our left back anymore, or even our backup left back at that. I totally agree with Dustin on that, man. I really do. Hi, James. I know the board are partly to blame, but do you think Newman has been given a list of names to Moyes, and Moyes has been turning them down? Good shout, man. I don't know, mate. If I'm honest, I don't believe so. Like, because they must be talking. Like, they must be going, you know what? I've got a player from X, like in Europe, and what do you think of him? Yeah, and I think it's more to do with the money, mate. Because let's be honest, you ain't going to buy good players for cheap. Just ain't going to do it. Not in this day. Not in this world we live in at the minute. Like with a financial crisis and what's going on in the world, like good players cost money, and West Ham just don't seem to part with anything unless they literally have to at the absolute minimum. Now, people are going to say about a guard, as I've just said previously. Now, a guard's a good player coming in, but we've got at least a defender that we can sell and reimburse that money. But West Ham should be adding to the squad, like really. And I just don't see us adding, mate. I really don't. It could be a possibility on that comment. It really could be. He could be turning them down. But if he is turning them down, why? That's the question that needs to be asked. Is like, what's the communication there? Like, surely he must have a list and saying like, I've got 20 players here. Always can't be turning them all down, surely. But do you know what? If he's turning Bissouma down, then what is Moyes seeing? I don't know what he's seeing. I'll tell you one thing Moyes is doing before I move on. I've got to say this. If he is doing that and he's turning players down, his stubbornness is coming out in the transfer window now. But where he was stubborn with tactics a year ago, it's now going into the transfer window. So, yeah. What have we got here, mate? We got this here. Will you be going to any pre-season games? I will do, mate, if they're away from home. Possibly. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting. Do you know Vlasic was a good signing at the time? I thought Vlasic was a panic buy, mate. Buster, if I'm being honest. I think I've said this on this channel. I'll say it again. I think they tried to go for Lingard, couldn't get Lingard, and Vlasic was the alternative. Like no one knew about Nikola Vlasic. Let's be honest here. Like a year ago, everyone's sitting there going, "We're going after Lingard." People were saying, "Let's get Lingard. Let's go." All right, and then all of a sudden, Nikola Vlasic at CSKA in Moscow comes up. Now, to me, that's not someone who's been scouted. I'm sorry, that's someone who's gone, "Oh, he's available. Let's go and get him." You've only got to look at Alex Crowell, the way that deal's come about, and look how shocking that was last season. So, Yeah, I wasn't convinced. What I miss, not a lot, John. Just me rambling on as usual, man. Connor Coventry is Mark Noble's is Noble's replacement. I agree, man. Do you know what I mean? Hit the like button, please do. It'll go a long way. Is Moyes a yes man? 100% he is, mate. 100%. And people say you can't slag off Moyes. I do believe Moyes is a very much doing as he's told and saying like yes sir, no sir. When it came out the other day about Souček and Ben Rama up for sale, to me, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, why would you sell two players that's got you to the semi-final of the Europa League and it's got you to it's got you to seventh in the league? Like, and let's be honest, Ben Rama and Souček have been a major part of that, yeah, over the course of the season. To me, it spells one thing, and that is raise funds for players. That's all. That's all it says to me. Like that's what it just seems like to me. Do you know what I mean? You don't go out and get rid of two of your players who've been influential in getting you to that position, along with Declan Rice, Bowen, Antonio as a team, and then sell them. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I have Mitchell on this channel, and people have got a polarising opinion on Mitchell. Yeah, and Mitchell is very anti-Souček. Now, would I sell Souček? No, not right now. Not unless I had someone in there who's a perfect replacement. But West Ham ain't going to buy before they sell. They don't do it. They always sell first, and then they're going to buy later. Like in Diop's case, they've got Diop there, so they know Diop's going to go. Do you know what I mean? And they know they're only going to get 15 million for him. So we will see, mate. We will see. I should really know, but when do the Premier League fixtures get announced? 16th, I think it is. I'm not too sure, man. Did we have a stronger squad than last season and previous, more or less Lingard versus Zuma? I think the season just gone, I think we was more lighter. I think the season previous, obviously Lingard come in for 6 months, but we did have Haller there. And people have got this opinion on Haller, and listen, I understand it. I didn't mind Haller. I thought Haller was all right. Yeah, I just think he just went in the right system. I didn't hate Haller, right, and think, he's the most, like, but it's just West Ham way, isn't it? It's all the scapegoat, everyone. You know what I mean? When they're playing crap. Interesting one. But we need more than that. Like, when you look at our bench, we haven't got a bench. All we've got is, like, David Moyes and Kevin Nolan. Like, Kevin Nolan's our best attacker on the bench at the minute. Do you know what I mean? So we will see. Thursday, it's the 16th, 9 a.m. for the new season games. Nice one, man. Fever, Connor is great, but what about if we never sold Josh Cullen? Mate, he's been tearing it up at Anderlecht, hasn't he? Let's be honest. We've all... Well, I've got to say this, but when you got Carlos Sanchez, and people choose Carlos Sanchez over Josh Cullen, and I remember Josh Cullen being like screamed at to play, and people going, "No, we've got Carlos Sanchez." Terrible, mate. Terrible. Listen, good luck to Josh Cullen. Yeah, he's done well at Anderlecht. Connor done well at MK Dons, but I think he's got to do something at West Ham this season. Right, because I don't think he'll be here next year if he continues the way he's going. Right, one thing the West Ham fan base. I think it's because it's the Academy of Football. And listen, I love the Academy of Football. I grew up with like them players, like the Cole, Carrick, Ferdinand, Glenn Johnson, Rio, etc. But I think sometimes we do overhype our youngsters. Like, and I think in a squad of say 25, we might find one or two at best who are decent. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at it like that, Josh is a bit missed, really, if I'm being honest. Well, why does this keep scooping? Well, Moyes is a coward for not trusting the youngsters. I won't say I agree, but I think, are they good enough, Epic? That's the question. Masuaku was cheap. Masuaku has naked pictures of Moyes' daughter, 100%. I don't know about that, Buster. You know what I mean? Making me hungry, though, mate. That's what I was saying that. Moyes never accepts a player to take Antonio's position. I think he means there. That is another key thing. I will say this, right? If Antonio has not got a striker in competition with him this year, then there is another argument for that. Like, what is going on now? Do you know what I mean? I just hope West Ham are going to surprise us all and go out and go bang, 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 and sign 4 players. I can't see it. I just can't see it. We should make all our signings eat jelly eels to see if they are made of the buttery steel we need. Do you like them, James? Nah, not for me, man. Not for me. Pie and mash for me, mate, all day long. Not the jelly stuff. That is well. See what I do like though, fish wise, is rollmots. I think they're vinegar, lovely. Creme de la menthe, mate, as they say. Mitchell hates foreign players. Mitchell hates everyone, mate. Mitchell hates me. He even tells me before the street, he says, James, I hate you, bruv, right? But I'm doing this. So I'm like, all right, cheers. You know what I mean? I agree. I never hated Halley. I just felt sorry for him for the system he was placed in. Felipe Anderson, on the other hand. Felipe Anderson was good one season, then just fell off the edge of a cliff. Did you see the Premier League FA league fixtures by accident? No, I haven't, mate. Who did West Ham get? I mean, have we got used boys first game of the season? Who has been West Ham's best short-term oldie signing? We've made quite a few, the likes of Evra. Do you know what? I would say Nolan, mate. I think Nolan was in his 30s. If I remember rightly, he was in his 30s when he arrived. I think he was a great signing. Obviously, Teddy Sheringham was a good signing back in the day. When we signed him, he was the one who helped us sort of get to the playoff final. He was top draw for us. I've got to admit. Oh, good old Teddy boy. Moyes would dig Antonio out of his grave for 20 years to start against Southampton or something. I agree, man. I really do. Do you know what I mean? You like the roll mots fish? What's that? Roll mots. Roll. ROLL mots. MOPS. Google it. Very nice, man. I might have a crush on Mitchell. Phil, that's for your own mind, bro. Yeah, man. Roll mots down Dagenham Sunday Market. Yeah, Robert, those are the days, man. I ain't there no more now, man. Did you hear Mark Noble is rumoured to becoming the next Swindon manager? Oh, I don't see that happening, mate. If he ends up going to Swindon, mate, then we're knackered for a coach, aren't we? Let's be honest. But yeah, we will see. We will see what happens there. And that is the end of the comments. And I am going to wrap it up there in regards of this stream. I want to thank everyone who's been watching on this stream today. I really do appreciate it. Please do smash a like on the video, and please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for the first time. It goes a long way. It really helps me out. It gets the channel growing as usual. I'm going to try and get back tonight and do a show with Lucas away from the US of A, and we're going to talk about what is going on, like transfer-wise at West Ham. My final thought on the players that I mentioned in this video, Bissouma, I would sign him. Like, I don't understand what Moyes is looking at when he doesn't want to sign. Maybe it's the charge that he's got hanging over his head. Maybe he doesn't want any drama at West Ham after the Bissouma scandal, so to speak. So maybe he's staying well clear of Bissouma. Jesse Lingard is saying no to West Ham for the final time, and that's the last time I'm covering him on this channel. Lingard, for me, used us as much as we used him, and he's had multiple times to come to West Ham, and he just doesn't fancy it. He looks at us as a step down. And at the time when he had no one, we give him that leg up, but we pulled him up off the ground and helped him out. Do you know what I mean? He helped us out, granted, but he doesn't want to come here. So we need to get over the Jesse Lingard love affair, end it. Keane, Lewis Potter, Brennan Johnson, someone on that sort of scale. Go out and find some young blood, sign these players up and get them bedded into this squad. For me, King Lewis Potter is the man. I've always said that. I've covered it on this channel for the last 6 months, saying about King Lewis Potter. And for me, when I look at King Lewis Potter, he will be next level. He'll be a Jared Bowen reboot 2.0, 100%. He doesn't play like Bowen, but he plays a bit like Phil Foden, floats about, good on the ball, passing is excellent, and he's got some speed about him also. And finally, Ismail Sarr from Watford is been linked with West Ham, and for me, that's the sort of player West Ham need to go for. 100% pace, someone who can hit the ball and let him run. Do you know what I mean? We've got no runners at West Ham. We've got a lot of people who are technically very good, but we've got about two people who run for the ball over the top. That's Bowen and Antonio, in my opinion. So we need some pace at West Ham United Football Club. Hopefully, I will be bringing you a video in regards of a guard. And when I do, you're going to see me bouncing off this channel, mate, because I really cannot wait to have it officially done. I'm looking forward to seeing this man as our left-sided centre-half. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy your Monday afternoon. Hopefully, I will be back tonight to do another video. So check it out on E20 Zone TV. Anyway, bye for now.